First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. This is a ship out update. Okay, sorry for some of you. We were supposed to ship out on Saturday. You're going to be shipping out on Wednesday instead. I have informed these customers, emailed them, letting them know that they will be shipping out on Wednesday, which means we can provide tracking numbers today. Now, the reason why you may not receive a tracking number right away, because if something comes up where we may have rain, a storm, something that may delay packages, or we may have something where the driver has to take care of a very important engagement, then your package may be delayed. And I do apologize for any inconvenience, but like I said, your package will be delivered as always, as we always do. I have many ship out date recordings backing my word without a problem. All right, so this is why we recorded a ship out date, so you know exactly anything that's going on, and we will email you or contact you if there's any change in your order. Now, as I said before in the last update, that the driver had a very important dentist appointment that had to be taken care of, which was Saturday, which means your package is going to be shipping out on Wednesday, which we're taking care of right now. Tracking numbers are going out today, so everybody who has packages up here will start receiving their tracking numbers today. You will ship out on Wednesday. Then things will resume back again on Thursday as being a process day, Friday being a process day, and Saturday being a ship out day. Try to make everything convenient for our customers. Now, some have asked, why don't you ship out every day? Because we have issues over here with the United States Postal Carriers. Not all of them, but some of them do not want to pick up packages, even when Mr. Bird pays for scheduled pickups. That's why I take money out of my pocket. I pay for a scheduled pickup to guarantee they're going to pick it up. But like I said, it's not the entire post office. I don't blame them. I don't blame the whole entire company. It always depends on who is working that day. Whether or not you're going to have a pleasant day or you're going to have one of those days. Now, I don't have time to be sitting in my window like a jack-o'-lantern trying to figure out exactly if he's going to pick up a package or not and waste an entire day of work when I could be taking care of other things where I can just pay the extra money out of my pocket to have a driver come down, pick up your packages, and make sure they're insured to go to where they're going. Now, keep in mind, I love my customers. My customers are extremely patient, and they have been, because I keep in contact with them. I let them know everything that's going on, and I do these videos to update them on anything that's going on. And if they need confirmation, like I said, I record all my ship out dates, so my customer knows everything that's going on. So yeah, we don't have any problems with customers being disgruntled or not being able to yell at us. We don't have no problems like that whatsoever. My customers are freaking amazing, and they know the product's worth it, and they'll wait the time. And I really appreciate the fact that it's inconveniencing in any way. We do appreciate basically being so patient for us to get this taken care of. All right, so what do we got going on? We have getting this set up. The 150-inch screens are going to be out of stock for a while, probably for the entire winter, because we do not do those in the wintertime. That's a seasonal screen. That's a screen that we have to be outside to actually coat that screen. I do not coat those inside the house due to the fact that I could do it easily if I didn't have a pet, but now I do have a pet, and sometimes when I spray, fumes do travel. I don't know how it's going to affect my animal, and I don't want to put it through it. It's not going to happen ever. So bottom line is, it's a seasonal screen now. So we only do those outside. I prefer to do them outside anyway. We're going to do those outside. As for the 115 inches, they're easy. I have a deck outside. So I'll do is just put that outside, spray it, I'm done. But the bigger ones, 150 inches, they have to be sprayed below, which means if it snows or anything else happens, I have to be in it, and I do not plan to be in it. So we get 115s we're going to keep on the website. The other ones, 150 inches, we're going to keep those until the end of the week, and then after that, they'll be out of stock until next year. What else am I going to add real quick? The massive screen that's being built below us, the massive, we got to give it a name. We have to give it a name. I thought about colossal. I was on Facebook and they're thinking of things to call the screen. It's going to call it colossal, something crazy. Somebody was going to call it the Great Black Abyss. That's a pretty good one right there, to tell you the truth. That's a cool one. But anyway, that's the massive screen at the bottom that we're building. That screen, I got a chance to measure it out. I had to have my neighbor jump the gate. And keep in mind, like I said, I keep everybody at a distance, jump the gate so he can get up there and measure, because there's no way where I'm going to get a measuring stick and go all the way from one end to the next. This thing is huge. So we're coming in at around, almost close to around like, and 235.1. What we can project is 194 or not 198. If I get the logs out of the way, we could fill up the entire thing, which we come in at around 210, 220. And that screen's a good size screen. So I knew it was going to come in at 235.1, because if you slam 250 inches together, mind you're going to have a height, but you're going to have length. That screen comes in at 248 inches wide, at 76 inches high. It is huge. But as I said before, we're going to be using that for company demonstrations and showing off the screen's capability. Like I said, at the end of the day, even though the Phantom is a more superior screen than the Phoenix is an amazing piece of technology. As screen paint, it is beautiful. So there's no way in the world we're going to get rid of Phoenix technology. Oh, heck no. What that stuff can do, this is amazing. And you'll get a chance to see that displayed on that massive screen outside. I always want to go bigger, you know what I mean? I love doing the screens inside the house, the 155s, the 148s, the 126s we have in the house, 150s in the house are nice to have. But I always want to see my screen paint on a massive level. And just being able to have that massive screen outside to do display for companies, because mind you, when you're dealing with venue projectors, and I can't explain this enough, when you're dealing with one of those babies over there, you can't display that inside. You can display it on that 126, it's 100 inch here, but it has to be displayed on a larger level, because companies that are using those particular projectors are doing way over 120 inches outside. So it has to be displayed on that level. So, you know, that's what you got to understand. That's what they were designed for. They don't design venue projectors for inside your house. They were designed basically for companies to be able to utilize those for concerts and big screen displays. So people have to be able to see what your product looks like on a massive level. You have to be able to produce that. And, oh, the driveway. My driveway is freaking huge. I got a six-car driveway. My driveway is freaking huge. I can probably put, how measure that, how many cars we can put back there. We probably can put about 4 or 5 cars in the driveway. So I can do perfect for distance throw. Perfect for distance throw demonstrations, because I'm working on a project with someone, like I said, who's building a movie theater, drive-in movie theater. And that'd be nice to be able to use the heightener. And we have a technology we're working on that basically boosts the gain on the screen, gives it the ability. Well, it's my sun killer technology, same thing, the same RAM. Down the screen to be able to boost higher. So you're going to be seeing some tests popping up of a sample sheet way on the other end, like 60 or 70 feet away, and being hit with these projectors to see if the image will pull up even higher. So you're seeing some tests being run like that. That's when we need the driveway cleaned up for that too also. So man, we got so much stuff that we could do outside in the backyard. It's a huge playground. Once I get a crew to come in and remove the logs and everything, oh, we got free play back there. Man, I can't wait. I think wintertime, I'm actually thinking about turning because the yard in the back comes down to a slope. It's like a little like a slope. I'm gonna turn that into a freaking bobsled arena right there. Get myself on a trash can lid and just go to town on that bad boy. So let me see, I'm hearing something cracking in the background. I'm pretty sure that's Mr. Hollywood. Yes, it is, Mr. Hollywood waking up. And here's the camera on. It's time for him to show his stuff off. Ah, what's up, Taco? Yep. All right, whatever. All right, so that's what we're doing. So we're getting the orders out this week. Everybody will be taken care of. Thank you so much for the patience. I really appreciate it. Certain stuff we'll have on the website, which will be seasonal. I had a few people asking me about the 150-inch screen, not 150, 250 inches or whatever you want to call it, side by side or the big. Well, we'll figure out a name for it. But anyway, they're asking questions about that. Asked us if we would do a pre-coated 150-inch screen for outdoors. Now that I can do. That's easy. That I can do in my basement with no problem. I can paint that with no problem. But you know, some people at the end of the day, like I said, if we do something like that, then I don't know. That's a customize. If I do something like that, I'm not going to use the same screen paint we have here. I'm going to have to customize in a completely different formula for that particular screen only. So that way we can have something that's completely different from the website. So we may do a pre-coated 150. May do a pre-coated 150. We'll see how that one turns out. Because, you know, but like I said, at the end of the day, honestly, you can do it yourself. I mean, it's not that hard, to tell you the truth. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's why we would have to do a special formula, because at the end of the day, if I'm saying, okay, I'm going to do a pre-coated so-and-so, you know, that's something at the end of the day you can do it. As for the gamers blackout cloths, no, you couldn't do that because that's a special formula we apply to that surface. There's actually 2 of them we drop onto that surface, so you couldn't do that yourself. You couldn't get out here with a formula. So we'd have to do a special signature screen paint just for that particular. I might think about doing that. I might think about that. I'm getting ready for orders. Right there is actually already a filled order right there. That's a contract order right there, which I need to write on the box, contract order, because I told you that contract screen paint, that black dark. Ooh, yeah, we got a lot of people lined up to get contracts for that particular screen paint. You can't get that on the website. Have to have just cinema. What's that dark nano, dark nano, cinema. 2 gallons. You can't get that on the web. You can't buy it on the website. That particular screen paint has to be purchased. You have to have a contract to get that. We wanted something different for people who have contracts through our company. Contract paint. 2 gallons. Abbreviating stuff. Cinema. Is that the dark cinema? Might start with that made it a whole lot easier. All right. And this is for overseas. That's overseas, and this one's overseas. So these two are overseas for today. That's overseas. That shouldn't be too cold. The flights get pretty hot. This out of here because we don't have it. All right, so on a minute. We got some other stuff we're going to be doing really soon involving 3D mapping. We're getting questions about that using the black screens. Oh, another thing too about having that master screen in the back. So there are going to be 2 brackets installed near the screen, over the screen. These are so we can hang 140-inch screens. We do everything on a massive scale back there. So we want people to be to see. If we're dealing with companies, we're dealing with customers. I have customers that have 150-inch screen, 300 screens in their backyard. They have massive screens in the backyard. So we can do this on a larger scale so you can see it on a much more bigger image. Oh, I cannot wait to see 235.1 on a screen that big. You know what that thing's going to look like? Wow. I don't even know what to play off at first. Definitely going to be doing some gaming off of it. That's definitely going to happen. But anyway, we have, we're going to do 240, I wish I could get the 100 inches. 120 inches would be so much better, but they stopped making 120 inches like that. They only make them in front and rear. But we're going to get 240 inches. One, we're going to leave white so we can show demonstrations on why our technology is better than using a white screen, especially for outside displays. That's going to be nice to have on a larger scale. And we're going to use our gray screen paint product under the Digital One Crystal screen paint, which we no longer make anymore. We can use that and to show people that if you do decide to paint your screen with a gray screen paint product, and we will have it on multiple shades because Digital One Crystal screen paint did come in multiple shades, people can see exactly why, and in comparison, why you do not want to go with a gray screen paint outside on painting your screen. Keep in mind, there's not much of a difference off of a white screen. There really aren't. And as I said before, and I can't say this enough, that black technology, and I'm going to say it again, is the future. You know, it's funny. I've been saying this for the longest time, that black screens are the future. When people have been doubting them, saying, oh, they're not this and they're not that, and they can't do this and can't do that. And now we got people trying to support them because they don't have a choice. As I said before, gray products are obsolete, and they are. You go to, like I said, you go to these companies, and you want to buy yourself a high performance projection screen, you will not be, if you have the money, you will not be walking out of there with a gray screen or a light gray screen or a white screen. At the end of the day, you'll be walking out of there with a very dark screen because that's what they're going to sell you if you want the best. So, that's what it comes down to, because like I said, at the end of the day, I've been telling you over and over again, and people, I mean, I even have I'm gonna post those too. I have the messages that we used to get from individual trolls that come into our channel and just rant about how black screens weren't this and black screens weren't that, and they were too dark, and you can't see this and can't see that. And now we have people trying to make a black screen. We had this huge discussion on that on Halloween with people that I have on my forum site. And they were talking about that. And they said, yeah, isn't that ironic that this individual basically fought so hard and now he's trying his best to make one? Yeah, I told you. I think it finally clicked for me 12 years ago when I saw Screen Innovation. When I saw their technology displayed on my screen. It clicked. But as I tell people before, and I'm going to tell you again, anyone who sits there and tells you that it's that easy to make a black screen that fast and that quick, don't buy it, because it takes years of testing to make a black screen good. And as I said before, and not to beat a dead horse to death, that the first time I saw that screen, I said, it's gray, it's not black. Come on, man, I have over 5 years experience in black technology. I would know what a black screen would look like and how it would react because I make them. So, if I'm telling you that the screen is gray, the screen is gray. And if it does convert to 100% black surface, then it has to go through some really vigorous testing. It isn't something that you can take, same thing like great product would be great products. You click it back to the end that's going to test. Today it's a little more vigorous for testing now. But you can't, there should be a lot of testing being displayed on it. And I mean a lot of testing, because when it comes to black technology, it has complications like you wouldn't believe, but it takes time and it takes patience and faith to be able to design that technology, to be able to get to pull that white light like that. So contrast isn't an issue. It's more like you have to have that white light has to be perfect when it comes from that screen, and there's a certain balance in the white levels. That's why when I do demonstrations against certified screens, I go white levels first, because there's a balance that I'm looking for. Hey, get away from that projector. Thank you. Put the projector on the floor that fast, and he wants to go touch it. But yes, a certain balance you should be looking for. And if that balance is not there, you'll find out the hard way. So your screen will come up really dark and you won't be able to see your images all that well. So that's why I said that when I saw that demonstration outside, I was like, that screen's gray. Because a black screen, at the end of the day, whether the picture comes up like crap, it's still going to display black at the bottom, regardless. Doesn't make a difference. If the image comes up like dirt, doesn't make a difference. The image is always going to display black. That's why I requested a side-by-side demonstration to black paint, because two things comes up in that test. Two things will come up in that test. Number one, if your surface is true black, it will match the black paint with no problem. You can be able to tell one from the other. Unless there's a difference in performance. So difference we show in performance on our product is when we lay our product is the same color as black paint. It's not lighter, it's the same exact color, but our screens are designed to dry a different shade. That separates our product from somebody else by saying, hey, this is everyday black paint. No, not really. If you put it side by side of black paint when it dries, completely different screen. Number two, our screen pulls up a higher white level than black paint, black fabric, and anything else you lay against it, because it has a heightener in it to be able to give the screen the ability to see white light. So these are some of the first tests that you have to be able to perform when developing black technology. And then the rest go on from if you want to have a claim that your product is the best, and this doesn't even involve black technology, it involves anything you develop, you should at least be able to do an 18 screens certified, which means you should be able to test your product against 18 screens. And we're not talking about people, I explained to you, not that color camouflage nonsense bouncing across the screen. You don't want that. You want solid colors. You want to see if that projector produces purple, which one out of the 18 certified is going to produce, including your screen, is going to produce the better purple color without a calibrated projector. Projector cannot be calibrated when you do this. So that's what you want. The lower the caliber of the projector, the better results. That's why we do 1,000 lumens. We do 1,000 lumens at 22 feet. We do ultra short throw. Then we do at 5,000 lumens to make sure the screen's not hot spotting. Then we drop it down to 1,000 lumens in there. Then we run from 38, 3,000, 28, stuff like that. You have to have that in there. Then you're going to have to run the test again. All that's going to be done outside. how's it going to perform outside. So yeah, there's a lot more testing involved in just making a product and throwing it up on the screen and saying it's done. This is the reason why when tests aren't done correctly, and our tests are brutal. You've seen our tests, they're very brutal. If your test does not, if your product is not what it's supposed to be, I guarantee you, bar none, that two things are going to happen. If you bring your product down here, especially outside, because that screen outside is also designed to be a test screen too, also for testing other products against it. We bring you down here, you might not pass. So I got over 12 years under my belt of making screen paint experience, and you can check my archives and see exactly how deep I go. If I tell you your product is not going to work, it's not going to work. So I can stand behind anybody and say, look, I got all my screens in here are 18 screens certified. That's long throw. 5 screens certified ultra short throw. I can back that up 100%. So my product is tested. And this is the reason why we get people that will cancel, either ignore us if we bring your screen down here. Because even with these certified screens, I watch your demonstrations too. And I see all the little areas where you basically cut corners like crazy. You're bringing high performance, I call them big bully projectors that are designed to be able to produce amazing images on a screen. Heck, at the end of the day, you don't even need a screen. You can hit that off notebook paper and still get almost the same results. Projectors doing all the work. I've had conversations with companies where I've posed as customers to come in and get sample sheets from them to get them over here to do demonstrations to compare our products against them. And in these conversations, I've heard many times, well, you don't want to go with what kind of projector. You're going to ask them what kind of projector I'm using. I'll tell them exactly what I'm using. Well, you don't want to go with that particular projector. You want to use this particular model because this particular model has a much more high contrast ratio, and it's going to give you a much higher black level. So you're using a projector with a massive amount of contrast in order to produce that contrast level. It tells me at the end of the day, your product needs a high-end projector in order to maintain that image. Which tells me also too, if the customer comes in and sees that projector, and if they can't afford it, or one close enough to it, or one better than it, then their image in quality, contrast, and color is going to drop due to the fact that they don't have that particular model, excuse me, and projector to be able to hit that performance rate. Sorry about that. So you got to deal with that too. And then that's when they'll tell you where you're going to have to calibrate your colors, your environment, which I've heard quite a few times, that in order to optimize your viewing pleasure, you have to be in an environment that has ambient light controlled, which at the end of the day, if you're using an ultra short throw projector, you don't have the exact same make or model they may have in that particular video, you may have to make some sacrifices to your environment, which I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, when you designed your living room, you were thinking, let's go with the Batman look. Let's go with the dark look. I don't think you had that intention that you had to go into your living room, you have to darken your curtains, you have to dim your lights in order to accommodate the giant screen you have sitting in your living room. Might as well just buy a TV at the end of the day. Honestly, you might as well. So these are the things I see in these demonstrations. Light dodging, that's my personal favorite to find out. Dark corners gives me another indication that there's not light making contact with the screen. Condensed lighting too far from the screen, which means the condensed lighting is not making any contact with the screen. It's actually pushed a little farther out. If you look at the bottom of the floor, you can see the spots, lights where the condensed lighting is actually hitting, nowhere near the screen whatsoever. My windows are fully open. Look at the window light that's coming in. I caught that on one of the Elite Screen demonstrations for their ultra short, those ceiling and light rejection projection screens. I noticed that when they set the screen up, that the window here, the blinds were actually on a slant. I'll tell you the trick about the slants. So they put the blinds on a slant, so when the light comes through, it actually does hit under the blinds, but when it's coming through, it hits the slant and it goes straight down. It doesn't filter through this way. It gives it the illusion that the blinds are fully open when they're not. If you're going to do fully open blinds, you need to take your camera, Elite, walk over to your blinds and show that you can see objects on the opposite side. Another personal favorite. They'll have a screen here. Show you for example. They'll have a screen here. They'll have a curtain across here that will block any light making contact with the screen. A curtain will be here to make sure there's no contact, but the window here will be open. This will be open. That will be open. They say, they'll turn the camera on, says, look how much ambient light is pushing in. This ambient light is not affecting the screen over here. Unless it has the ability to come in, curve, bend, and hit the screen, that's the only way. One of the demonstrations I saw, with Elite Screens is where they had the screen sitting here, they had a window here, a window here, a window here, a window here, and they said, look at all the ambient light coming in. But I noticed when it turned the camera for a split over here in the corner, there's a window right here, but it was covered, it was blocked. Because any ambient light would have came through there, would have came across and bypassed the screen, and that made it cause some discoloration to the screen or maybe faded the screen out whatsoever. So the two windows you have in the front are not going to physically affect the screen unless they're going to come in and they're going to turn and go into the screen. Unless you had the same amount of windows in the front here that you had sitting in the back. Now that would make direct contact with the screen. So those are little things I see. A company called Nox, I think it's N-O-X. During their demonstration, they have a big 150-inch screen painted here. They have a short throw projector sitting right up on top, so the throw distance isn't that far, which means the less the throw distance, the less lumens you're going to lose, the less your picture quality is going to drop. The closer the projector, the more sharper the image, the more tighter the pixels. I know all that stuff when I watch a demonstration. So I can read all this from a demonstration from looking at it. And I can tell right there, you're just feeding me information. Flaws, information, what your screen can't do, calibrated projectors, ultra short throw projectors. You need these projectors to sit right up on top of the screen in order to be able to maximize the pixel sharpness and less of a distance throw, which means that you're going to lose less of an image when that projector is making contact. Mind you, the farther back the projector, the more powerful it has to become, because you have to make up for the fact that you will lose lumens by the time it travels to the screen. That's why you have projectors. Venue projectors are at 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000. You're talking about a projector that's going to be in a well-lit commercial environment. By the time it makes it 30 feet across the room in commercial lighting, which is going to feel like the sun to everybody else as they're in there working in that environment, that projector is no longer going to have 30,000 lumens by the time it makes contact with the screen. Then they have to calculate how high the gain is on the screen. So the gain on the screen has to have the capability to be able to pick up whatever lumens are left over from that projector making this travel across all that ambient light. As it's traveling across, lumens are cutting down, cutting down, cutting down, cutting down, cutting down, cutting down, cutting down. When it hits the screen is going to have to take that little bit of whatever is left over, say at a 30,000, we're left with about 4,000 lumens. So at 4,000 lumens, they have to make sure that screen's gain level is going to be high enough to be able to take that 4,000 lumens, magnetize it, give you a bright enough image that's going to come back at you so you can see the image crystal clear. That's the problem you have with white screens. No matter what hits that thing, you're still going to have some issues. It's not going to have high enough gain to push that image off. The darker the screen, the better the gain's going to come off. A lot of people don't realize that either. That's why the darker screens are a lot more expensive. That's why they're designed to absorb more light. That's why the best screens for ambient light rejection technology. Darker screens are designed for that, not lighter screens. But as I said before, that's how I knew. And also too, it tells me the lumen count of your projector also too. Depends on how much white light disperses off your screen also too, because with the Valve projector and the WeMax claiming to be 5,000 lumens, if you had a 5,000 projector less than a foot away from your screen, if that thing ricocheted off a white surface, and we saw that downstairs in the basement, you would have illuminated the entire environment easily. That environment would have been lit. You'd have light bouncing off your ceiling and off your walls and everything. So that's the first thing that pops up when I see one of those projectors on display. I got 4,000 lumens at 13 feet, hits a 92-inch screen downstairs. And when that thing hits that white surface, it reflects light everywhere. Even Mr. Mannequin is just nothing but boom, he's just lit up in the back. The minute we drop the black screen, all that cancels out. But you can't use that particular projector on a black screen because the lumen count is too low, and there's something wrong with the I don't know, something about those projectors and their lamps or whatever it is in them. They don't pick up on our screens at all. Period. They come up jet black. They can't pick up on the image. That's why we want to paint that supports them. But I could go on and on and on about this. This is so much stuff. Like I said, I could teach you, which right now I'm actually teaching somebody right now. They want to get into the business of home theater. They want to get into business projection, and I'm teaching them basically everything on how to do it and what lumens mean, and the same way I learned the same way. But yeah, there's stuff that you should be explained to in videos. If you're not being explained this stuff to in videos, there's an issue right there. There's something that they're hiding. That's why I say when I watch these companies, they go in, they just talk about, they got their script, they take their calibrated projector, they got their screen set up, they got the environment all set up perfectly, I watched with Screen Innovation and Sorry Screen Innovation, but it's true. I saw when he had the $50,000 projector, and I looked across the street out the window. I wasn't looking at your projector. I was looking out the window because I was looking at the light that was coming in the environment. And I'm thinking, what time of the day are they doing this? If you were doing this in the afternoon and the sun was resting across the street, that means your house was sitting in the shade, which means you were just getting not real, you were getting ambient light, but not the intense that you would have gotten as actual sunlight that can be in contact with your house. Because even with a lux meter, if I'm in here right now, when the sun comes up, it hits this side of the house. So if I'm in here with a lux meter, we get like 262, because right now the sun's not up. When the sun hits the side of this house directly at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, that meter jumps to the roof. So that lets me know, even though we don't have any windows in this environment, there's light still passing through the house. That's something that the other person, like I mentioned his name, doesn't understand the physics of light. He doesn't understand the physics of sunlight. It's more than just studying projectors. You also have to study the physics of light. So even though this environment right here doesn't have any windows in it, there's actual light still filtering through your house. Your house cannot block sunlight. Sunlight will transfer through your house. So it'll travel through your walls, everything. It's constantly transferring through your house. Even when you move about in your environment, you're constantly shifting light all the time. That's why you walk in front of a meter, it'll drop, and all of a sudden it'll jump back up again, because you're constantly shifting light as you move around. He doesn't understand about how the environment works, how when light transfers through the house, you affect that. Even when if I pick this up and I move this back and forth, I'm actually changing the environment. I'm changing the light in the environment. It doesn't stay the same way. It fluctuates, it changes. So that's another thing that I didn't get time and detail to explain to them. If you want to talk about meters and light fluctuation and how light basically travels from A to B, from the sun to here, there, I could go all day long, buddy, with you on that one. Pull the chalkboard and we break open the math all day. And I guarantee you won't follow. So it's a lot more than that. But either way, as I said before, light is constantly transferring to your house. There's no way in the world you're going to have a lux reader at 1800 and it's always going to stay at 1800. It's constantly going to fluctuate because you move light in the environment as you transfer through all those changes as you move through. So you're getting back to that. So in this environment here, right now on a lux meter, we'll do a demonstration that we'll pull up like 262 in here. That's as high as we can go in here. The minute the sun comes up, this area changes, and I don't even have the meter anywhere near any of the windows. We'll have it right in the same spot, and you'll watch the meter go from there to 800. From 800, as the time of the day goes up, that meter will start jumping because more and more light is transferring through the house. It stops off at around 1600. That's where it drops off at, right around that area. So getting back to the whole Screen Innovation demonstration, that's when I looked at your demonstration. I noticed that your sunlight was across the street, which means you timed the day on when to do the demonstration because there would have been too much light filtering through. I don't think it would have affected the screen either way if you had it, because depending on the projector and depending on the size of the screen. Now they go with a 100-inch because a 100-inch screen is a nice size screen, but keep in mind it's a tighter screen. So your pixels are going to be much more tighter together, and especially using ultra short throw, this is going to be less of a distance and you're going to lose less lumens, especially if you're using a 10,000 lumens. Keep in mind, ultra short throw 4K laser projectors. Laser projectors produce a much higher lumen count than an everyday projector. I had a Casio projector over here that was around 2,500 lumens. It was brighter than the 4,000 projector because it was using a laser. That's why. So when you got a projector that monster of a calibration of, and that's calibrated, keep in mind, he didn't have to calibrate that if he didn't want to, but I know they calibrate them. That close to the screen, nothing would have affected that thing. Nothing. 10,000 lumens, less than a foot? Are you kidding me? No, nothing would have affected it at all. But getting back to when I saw the demonstration, I saw they had lights. They had the ceiling lights over top, and then they had the window here and window here and window here and window here, and they had the whole area painted all in white because all that light's going to hit that white wall since it's basically going to illuminate all that white light. Look how amazing the technology is. But I guarantee if I get you down here, it won't pass. Because I know you're... Oh, I forgot I'm going too far. All right, let's move on from there. So, anyway, the same thing when I saw the screen on display in a showroom. They had a stand right here, like this, and the ceilings were way up, 21 feet up, and probably a little higher than that, because it's in a big, huge warehouse. And they got the lights all the way up there. all the way up there, and then they got this screen right here, and then they had this big projector, boom, pushed up against the screen. Now, consider the fact that how much light they had in the environment wouldn't affect the screen. Number one, the projector is too powerful. Number two, it's sitting too close to the screen. There's no way in the world they're going to wash that thing out. Virtually impossible. And then when they pointed to the lights in the ceiling, I was like, well, that's a no-go. Your lights are 21 feet up. So at 21 feet, by the time it makes contact with the screen, with a projector pushed that close to the screen, it's not going to affect it at all, period. Not at all. Now, if he had that on an impressive 200-inch screen, where it's a little closer to the ceiling, and it was going to take in 10 times more light than that little 100-inch, then that would have been quite impressive. Maybe do it on a long throw, kick that sucker back about a good 21 feet or something back. That would have been impressive. But no. That's why when I watch demonstrations, when people do the same trick, this is the same trick they use, and the companies do it too. They'll take a 100-inch screen, they'll take a high-powered projector, and they'll basically use that particular screen to squeeze that image into to get that tighter and sharper image. The image quality changes it once you take it out of that realm. So if you look at my ultra short throw setups, my ultra short throws never sit that close to the screen. This one's actually pushed back here because I'm doing some demonstrations here, but my projector sits in the middle of the screen right there. So all my short throws are doing long throws. Even though they're short throws, they do long throws. They sit back from the screen because this projector is already designed to do 80 inches, but my screen's 148 and there. So I always have mine pulled back. That's one of the tricks that they use. So I've seen that trick being used over and over again in certain demonstrations. Like I said, they rely on the high-end projector in order to get them that produce that image, and they rely on short throw or ultra short throws because, like I said, the closer it is to the screen, the more compact the screen is, the better the display is going to be. For instance, Elite screens. Yep, you too. Your demonstration you did at some kind of electronics show, I noticed that the cameraman, when he was walking through the hallway, his camera was pulling this really bright image. The minute they walked into that room, the camera had an issue picking up light, which means the environment in the room was darker than the hallway. So if you looked into saw the video demonstration, you'd have noticed that every window was blocked by a projection screen, and it was. And then whatever lamps they had in there, they were tucked behind the back of the screen to show there was light pushing out, but there was no physical light in front hitting the screen. I'm pretty sure that all the lights you had there were on dimmers, every last one of them. And every projector you had in there was either short throw or ultra short throw, which means the distance throw wasn't even there to begin with. Yep. Because I noticed when the camera popped into the room, it had an issue trying to capture light. It was fluctuating. And that's the first time it came up that your room was actually darker than what was actually in the hallway. So that room was controlled like there was no other. And then they had certain videos picked out. That's another thing too. They pick out certain videos to display. You watch it yourself. You think I'm joking? They have certain videos they display in their demonstrations. You will not see a Starfield demonstration. You will not see color swap out demonstrations. You will not see tests against other high performance screens. You won't see any of that. Only demonstration I did see is when they had the white sheet of paper. Now, in their defense, the reason why they always do the white screen is because that's what they're dealing with at the end of the day. That's why they go against the white screen. Because when they walk into an establishment like a school or a business, these are our church, these are people who are going to have white screens. They're going to walk into an establishment like, oh shoot, these are Elite screens in here. They're not going in there. They're not stepping foot in there. They don't even know how their product's going to even work against an Elite screen. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they did the testing or not, but if they did, chances are they're not going to go in there. In fear that maybe that screen could beat their screen and that could bring some trouble. So they're not going to bother with it. Also, on the other hand, that's a different story, because not only do I test my product against the white screens, but I test my products against the very best of the best that the companies have to offer. My kitchen drawer is full of their stuff. I have everything which is the best of the best. And what we couldn't get our hands on and what we've been denied due to requests, due to trying to buy, we automatically know from the door where they stand due to the fact that they did deny us or ignore us or cancel. So we know where they stand on that. But when they walk into an establishment, if they're going to walk into an establishment, majority most of the time, someone's going to have a white screen and they can go in there and have a town in there because they know darn well their product is going to do way better than a white screen. They got that sale at the end of the day. If they didn't, it wouldn't be in business right now. So that's all they had to deal with. That's all they had to test. On our end, because we make screen paint, we have to deal with the fact that we have to go against projection screen companies. I couldn't care less, and I'm going to tell you this honestly and not to be rude here, but I couldn't care less about the screen paint products on the market. I really don't, because I've seen your test demonstrations and they are bad. They're really, really bad. Compared to how we do ours, you could never match our technology, never. So because we don't aim our tests towards you, we aim our tests toward the elites, the black diamonds, the DMP supernovas, the Seymour AVs. We point our direction toward them. That's why every time we do a panel demonstration, the first one we do is a 4-screen certified, and we put it against screens that are not going to match the screen because we don't want an easy pass. We want something that's going to be difficult and hard for the screen. So that's what we put our products again, because at the end of the day, if my company gets to that level where we can walk into an establishment and go, hey, and I see a high-end screen in there, you think I'm going to walk out of that situation? No, why would I? My technology can actually overtake that screen with no problem. My products have been tested to do it. There you go. Mr. Bird talks for a long time. Yeah, it's just so much stuff, man. You got to know, man. You got to know. There's so much stuff you got to know. The stuff that you should, reason why my videos take so long, because there's so much stuff you're not getting. They're not telling you. That's the sad thing about it. People have been dropping all this money on these big expensive screens, or they're buying these products. I hear these screen paint products are not properly tested right. And this is the reason why we have canceled orders, because there's no way in the world on God's green earth that someone's going to have a light gray screen product come down here and go toe to toe with a jet black screen that is designed to pull contrast, white level, and colors. How in the world are you going to take on something like that? And you're not going to beat it in no way whatsoever. If it has a record of going through 18 certifieds, and you haven't tested your product against 18 certifieds, what makes you think you could take on the screen? There's the problem. And again, another misconception from people that, I hate to say it, put out this way, that are jealous of what we do. First things first, we got 194 inch post about right now altogether. I say about 220. We got 220 of a black Phoenix outside in the backyard, not inside the house, in a backyard. Not at 100 inches, at around almost 220 inches. That screen is huge. Not using 4K, not using 1080p. Those demonstrations we did on a 720p projector with a distance throw of over 21 feet. And we were able to do that demonstration on the 150 inch, which I posted at the bottom of the video if you never saw that, at 5:51 in the evening with no problem. So think about this. This is why I said people who have a habit of hating for the sake of just hating because they can't do it and they won't do the test because then their products won't pass, or they know their products are obsolete and they have to switch over to something else and have to bite that bitter pill and admit that I was right when I said that black technology is the future and they have no choice but to go down that road. But hey, welcome to the family. Just hope you get it right. When you do the demonstration, please make sure the screen is actually black and not gray. But anyway, if the Phoenix came up as dark as claimed to be, then how can you see it outside, live, on a scale that big, at that distance? My distance for what my screen sits out there is farther than the distance in his own home. It's over 21 feet back. So how can you see it? So either two things that happen. Either the screen's doing what it's supposed to do, or Mr. Bird has magic powers, much like the ability to be able to manipulate time and space and reality. There's only two reasons you got. And since I don't have those powers, and if I did, I sure enough wouldn't be here making this stuff. I'd be out ruling the world. That's where I would be at. Changing things for the good, not for the bad. If I had that kind of power to begin with. So, and people say, oh, it's got to be camera tricks. Again, it's live. If I had the ability and technology capabilities to be able to manipulate real time with a camera, then that means that I shouldn't be the only one that has this technology on hand. The news media would have a ball with this kind of technology. Keep in mind, think about it. We have a train accident that involved 3 people. They can magnify it to 60 people and make their ratings go through the roof. All the other newscasters are like, wait a minute, what the frick is going on here? How in the world we were at the same place? How do you got 60 people? That's first. Did you just see the same thing I just saw? No. What? Yeah, that's what would happen. Literally. So that's why I tell people I had a guy come in the room with Facebook and they laughed at him. They laughed him off. He had to be embarrassed. Oh, that's you're using some kind of edit. Where? Seriously. So let me get this straight. Mr. Bird, which is not a millionaire or a billionaire, somehow has obtained some form of high tech. We might as call it alien technology because that's pretty much the rim of where it's going at. To Billy to be able to take his camera, mine, which is actually a Galaxy Note 10, and manipulate, I can't snap the other finger, real time to show you something that's not really there. And not only be able to do that, I can do it in real time. Yet newscasters, multi-billion-dollar newscasters like NBC and Channel 10 and Channel 6, not NBC, Channel 6 and Channel 10, who have sophisticated technology that I will never ever be able to afford. No, never be able to afford at this in any way whatsoever. Don't have it? See, that's why you have to be really careful about saying, I hate to say the word dumb, but dumb, stupid stuff when you come in here and talk. Yeah, that's how when you really think about it, when you break it down. So, yeah, sure. All right. Man, if I had that technology, I was the only one that had it. Do you have any idea how much money that would be worth? Yeah, no, I wouldn't be doing this. I'm like, okay, people, this is my last video demonstration. Mr. Bird has figured out a way how to manipulate real time with a Galaxy Note 10. Yeah, it's all camera tricks. We got special effect cameras here and cameras here. You would see, for something like that, you would see major equipment being displayed everywhere in the environment. There's no way in the world I could hide that many wires and cables. You've seen the tech room. The tech room has all that stuff up there. There's wires and cables all over the place up there. There's no way you could hide all that. Yeah, we have this. I figured out downstairs in the shop how to manipulate real time. So I will no longer be doing this anymore due to the fact that I was offered billions of dollars to sell my technology to large corporations and the news media to utilize the technology I developed to be able to produce their performance rates and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Or, like I said, the other hand, I could add special powers. I really wouldn't be here either. Today I figured out I have X-Men powers, so I'm out of here. Those of you who don't like me, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. But not only that, I got a thing, I quote, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and thou shalt not kill. The things you should not do. Even when you get angry at people for doing things that they should not do, like throw crap into your yard, and you catch them on a security camera, and you bring it to like, was this you? Like, oh, I'm sorry, man, my bad. I won't do it again. Yeah. But anyway, enough said with that. But anyway, yeah, that's the only way. Now, people, for those of you who are naysayers, haters, and all that, let me explain something to you how it's done. It's very simple. I can tell you the secret right now. I'll get real close to the camera so you can understand. It's called hard work and faith in God. That's what it's called. When you see Mr. Bird get up in the morning and it's still dark outside, it means Mr. Bird is up at around 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, because the stuff I have to get done here to get this out of the way, get this taken care of for my customers, has to be done so I can get the other demonstrations finished, so I can get the other projects done, and then I'm under contract and NDA, so I have to get those taken care of because I have to satisfy the people I signed my name on to a piece of paper saying that, hey, I plan to get the job done and I have to get such and so done. And not because I had to, because I want to, because I love what I do for a living. But, one day we'll get into that whole discussion about basically things you should be, if you're interested in some tutorials on what to look for, what to buy. We're going to be doing that too, projector unboxings and stuff like that. How to get really good deals off of eBay. Because all the projectors, if you notice that I buy off eBay, I use them all the time. I don't buy one particular projector and make that my one projector. Or with a P2 or P1, you make that your main projector every single day. That's pretty much what the big companies do, or whatever. When you're dealing with a big company, if a company comes in and they go, well, we got this particular model right here. We like for you to display this on your screen. It's kind of like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You display my piece of hardware. You know what I mean? We do it at the same time, or we can make it a package deal. All that stuff goes on. So that's one of the things you have to notice too when you watch demonstrations too. Are they swapping out projectors? Keep in mind, if someone's constantly displaying their product on a high-end projector, on a 100-inch screen, which is not small, but that's what they're using as their display screen, you should be seeing that on, and not only just if they have to go someplace else to display that screen, that's not good. That's a first bad sign. You should be to see a screens outside 120, 140, 150, 180, at most 180, and then much larger than that. And that should be displayed on their premises, so that way you can see those demonstrations at any given time. Like right now, the screen I got downstairs, or the 155 upstairs, I don't have to go to somebody's house or show off a video from them. I can go downstairs and do the actual video myself on that screen and display it at any given time. Depends on the weather, but yeah, if it's outside. But that's how it should be done. If they have to have somebody display that screen for them, that's not good, because at the end of the day, who knows what they're telling them, what you should and what you should not display on that surface, or what time of the day you should be using that, or blah 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 blah. What kind of projector? You don't know how much of that was manipulated. So that's another reason why I don't trust when people say, "Hey, here's a display on somebody's screen at 150 inches." Well, let me see you do it on your end, and let me see you do it like this. There you go. And also, like I said, you should be doing projector swap outs. Because, like I said, if they're basically type casting the exact same projector over and over again, because they know at the end of the day, the only way that screen is going to look like that, it has to be on that projector only. I can come and swap my projectors out. The room, oh my goodness, how many times did we swap out the projector in here? Like so many times. We ever have a 1080p projector in here? Oh no, we never did. No, I had an Optima GT55, Optima GT55, 56. They were 1080p projectors. We had the 55 in here and the 56 was downstairs. That's the only one I had in here. But we had a Christie in here, 720p short throw. We've had the NEC short throw. We had a Sony in here short throw. They were all 720p's, ultra short throws. They were swap outs. One was 3000, one was 3600 lumens. One was XGA, one was WXGA. We had 4 or 5 swap outs in here. Now that's the one we got here now. I had a Sony here, and the Sony was 3000 lumens WXGA. This one here is the NEC, that is XGA. So I dropped that one down. That's even lower than the other one. And here in the lounge, oh man, we had so much in here. All right, so we had, oh man, if I can remember, we had Sony FH 36, FH30. We had the ViewSonic projector 600 by 800 res running here for about a couple of months. We had a Christie in here. Actually, we had 2 Christies in here. We had a Christie, the one I just gave away to the customer. I think it was an LW 405, whatever, something. I can't remember the model of that one. That's the one I gave away for free. We had that one in here at 4300 lumens, 1080p. We had an ultra short throw, which was actually that projector right there that was in here at around 3600 lumens. Didn't even sit up on top of the screen because my screen is at 126 and that projector is only at 80 inches. So we had to at least have it 5 feet away from the screen. Which technically wasn't short though, but it was a lot closer than having the long throws. And then we had, let's see what else we have in here. We had the last one we have in here is the Christie 505. That's what we have in here now. So that one was swapped out quite a bit. We did that. I did the 800. I don't want to go back to the 800. 800 is nice. 830 at 3800 lumens. The 720p. I like that projector. It's small. It's compact. I like that one. This one actually is quite huge, as you can see. Right. I do like that little projector right there, but the only problem, it doesn't have a lens shift on it. These projectors in here require lens shift because on my projector, the way it's sitting high up, you have any idea? My projector used to sit right there on the first ledge. So I basically sleep there. Keep in mind that people ask me this question all the time, like, why do you have a house so big and you basically sleep downstairs? It's comfortable. I like it. I got a 3-bedroom house. And my upstairs over top, this is a master bedroom over top me. I don't even use it. I use it for a tech room. I got another room, which I did turn into a Japanese tea room / bedroom, but I kind of like being on the sofa. That's where I'm going to be at. When I get my new house, I'm actually engineering off topic. My living room is going to have massive high ceilings, much higher than this, but I want a big, huge, massive, giant sectionals. Oh, those things are amazing. I want a giant sectional right here, like a huge, it's going to be much bigger than this, but a huge sectional, and I want a 300-inch screen to wrap from here all the way around my sectional, because I sleep in the living room. That's what I like. And that's where I'm going to be at, right there, my giant sectional, 300 screens, and I'm going to get 3 of the Dell 4K 5000 lumen ultra short throw. I'm not good with curve. I'm not good with syncing projectors. I have a friend of mine who's a tech expert in that field. He's going to do the work for me. He's going to come in and link all the projectors together, and I'm going to design myself a phantom 300-inch curved screen using those projectors. He's the one that's going to set it up. But anyway, this is where I like to be at. Screen's right there. I got my air cleaner right there. and I'm good. I'm happy. That's where I'm at. But anyway, yeah, I have to have lens shift because that lens shift, like I said, the first when I want to get up in the morning, you know, it's like getting up in the morning, your projector's still on. My projectors are always on. As a matter of fact, this one's on right now. Tell you, my projectors stay on, but they're in eco mode. You don't hear it. So that's why I can do that, because the projector won't burn out on me. But anyway, so you get up in the morning and your projector is right there, right? That's 5,000 lumens that's hitting the screen at that close. So imagine in the morning, bam, you just hit with 5,000 lumens to the face. Your eye, mind you, most people, their pupils will actually start to shrink if you open up a window and light comes in. I get hit with 5,000 lumens every morning. So I was like, I'm tired of this crap. I'm going to take the projector and I need to stick it up high. So this is where we came with this scaffolding system right here. And I just threw neon lights on it yesterday. So I light on those strip of neon lights right there. Pretty cool. So anyway, I put it up high. You can't do that on an everyday projector without lens shift, because if you did it with an everyday projector, you're going to hit the ceiling and you're going to hit right about this. All you're going to get of the screen. With that projector having lens shift, I don't have to mount it to the ceiling. I don't have to worry about when you mount it to the ceiling, you got to constantly anchor it in to make sure it fits, and then you got to keystone it, and you got to tilt it again. You got to adjust it from mind. If you don't have that lens shift in there, say if you mount your projector a couple inches to the left of your screen, you got two options there. Either you're going to move your screen or you're going to move your projector. One of them it's going to happen. But with lens shift, no problem. So you mount your projector a couple inches of the screen. You just go and hit the button. Zip, it slides back in place. That's it. That's what I love about the lens shift. So I can have my projector all the way up there and take the image off the ceiling and slide it, boop, right into the screen right there. That's what I like about lens shift. And by the way, like I said, at the end of the day, your screen, see how black that screen is? That screen is so black that it matches my air cleaner, matches the sound bar, matches my pillows. That screen is literally, it matches my carpet. That's how black that screen is. That's Phantom over there. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I love about lens shift. And once you get lens shift, and I'm gonna tell you right now, people, once you get lens shift, you will be spoiled. It will spoil you. It will. You will not be. You go back to a regular projector. I can't deal with this, and I deal with them. But you don't deal with them. But anyway, like I said, at the end of the day, you should be able to have your projectors swapped out. That's what I like about the tech room. So the tech room is designed to swap projectors out. We swap projectors all the time in the tech room all the time. But if you had to use one particular projector in all your demonstrations to make the product look good, and then at the end of the day, in the video, and I'm noticing these videos with these other products too, they will stick to light, colorful images when it comes to well-lit environments, because the images are going to fade less. You're going to see less of a fade there, to where they use the contrast demonstrations. They will keep those into the dark environments because they will have a much better chance of producing the contrast level. Every time. Every single time. Now, the problem they're going to have with interesting thing, keep in mind, people, to understand this real quick before I get out here, because I have to be outside in a few minutes. I have to do some work on the screen. Let me understand, if I can explain this to you real quick. Am I threatened because other people make black screen paint products? No. See how many people are actually developing black screen paint products besides that particular individual? I just met somebody from the people in Dubai. They see that technology. For anybody who sees that technology, it pops in their head that they're going to make it. Big deal. At the end of the day, really don't care. And I'll tell you why. Because I have over 10 years of experience under my belt in black technology. Don't care. I know that technology on levels that I know that when I watch your demonstrations, I can see the flaws. The same flaws that I can see when I watch a demonstration with someone displaying the screen in their environment, I can see it also not only in the environment, but I can also see it in the screen. That's why when I sat there and I saw the demonstration, not to beat a dead horse to death, and the screen is outside, I said the screen's not black, it's gray. And everybody said, no, that's an actual very dark gray screen. If you look at the cinema grade gamer upstairs, you look at that screen, you would think that screen is black. It's not black until I actually pull the camera out and I show you it next to an actual black screen. If you take an actual black screen, and I don't care how crappy the projector may be, it can be the worst projector on the face of the planet. the bottom of the screen that's not being displayed by the projector is always going to display black, no matter what. If it comes up gray, and outside will show what the screen is, if it comes up gray, that's one of the first signs that they can look at and tell, well, it's not a black screen, it's an actual dark gray screen. Another thing is black paint. If your screen is black and you have black paint and you put black paint next to it, it will show whether your screen is actually black. Only two ways it's going to come up. It's either going to come up gray or it's going to come up black. And that's another first sign that popped up. Like I said, I used it as my thumbnail because that particular video was deleted off an account because they knew what we saw. I don't know how they didn't see it. I really don't. At the end of the day, I don't know how they didn't see that. And I'm hoping it wasn't the black screen sitting next to it, because the black screen next to it was horrible. The colors that came up on that were really dark. It kind of looked like somebody shooting a film off a 35 millimeter. That's what it looked like, really dark around the edges, oversaturated with too much black levels. I'm hoping that wasn't supposed to be the black screen itself, because that came up really bad. That would never pass a white level test, never. Another sign that I see. The first time a screen is displayed, you're supposed to put it against a white surface, any given time, so it's against a white surface. That's when we did the other screen, which is actually wasn't even dark, it was actually really dark gunmetal. They're all done against the 0.9 screen, which we have as the whitest screen we use. In any demonstration, we always put that up there. We'll put the Parallax, which I butchered the name, sorry, Daylight. I'll put the other dark screen, which is the Dark Star 9, Cinema Gray 5D, which is another one we use because it's a mid-gray screen. And then we will go with the acoustic screen with the 0.9 to show you the white levels. So that way, when we're doing the demonstration, you can see the screen, how they're reacting to color, white levels, and contrast, all at the same time. That's the first thing, always has to be displayed. Another reason why white levels have to be displayed is the first thing you should show is when you show your color patterns, the first pattern needs to come up, needs to be white. Not fuchsia, not purple, not orange, not red. It has to be matched against another surface to show exactly which screen is producing the higher form of color. Taking a screen outside and showing that it can show different colors, big deal. I can do that with a gray screen paint mix all day. Right now, digital and crystal screen paint, I can do the same thing right now. I have it downstairs with no problem. You have to put it against another screen so you can see which one of those screens it's going to pull the higher color. Because you could take a white surface and you could take a DMP supernova and display the color blue. That image is going to come up better than the white level. But if you stick that against another screen that may be equal or more high performance than that screen, then that screen may pull the higher blue level. So that's why you have to do the comparison instead of the standalone. So that's another failed demonstration. When I saw that demonstration, and the first thing I noticed, like I said, when the star field displayed, it was gray. And I was like, nope, not a black screen. And sure enough, I was 100% right, because when I saw the video with the product next to the screen, I was like, that is a gray screen right there. How are they not seeing that? I have it on my forum site right now. And they discussed that. That's not a black screen. So which one was the black screen? Because I'm hoping it wasn't the one that was by itself. It was the one by itself that was black. Then that's another fail, because what are you comparing it to? Because the demonstration is supposed to be a black screen paint versus black paint. So both of them are supposed to match. It's not supposed to be one being gray and one being black. That's not the object of the demonstration. The object of the demonstration is to show that both products match, but yet when the projector comes on, they show a difference. That's the object of the demonstration, which was clearly, corners were cut on that one, because in the demonstration I saw was a gray screen, clearly. For some reason it had multiple shades and I don't know why. Then I saw another gray screen. One screen looked brown, but then it had another gray screen in between there, and then I saw this black surface. So I was hoping it wasn't the black surface, because the black surface, when the frog displayed, was really dark and really gritty, which is not good, because that shows it's going to have a white level failure problem right there. But that's not the same color screen that I saw being displayed outside in the backyard, and it wasn't the same color screen that was being displayed the first time next to the window. That was a different screen. So something's not right there. And like I said, I'm hoping at the end of the day, it wasn't that black surface, because that black surface basically clearly shows that it has a white level issue. And that's why when the object is being displayed, now let's say if it was the black screen, the square screen, the way the frog came up, the background came up really gritty and really dirty, that shows right there there's a white level issue. I've seen that a couple of times in the darker gray mix that we have over here has the same results, the same reaction, which at the end of the day, since we're able to make that product with no problem, tells me exactly what's in it and how it was designed. I can look at that screen and tell exactly how that product was made because it has the same kind of signature as the other one. So I'm hoping that wasn't the black surface, because if that was the black surface, then you're going to have to do a demonstration of showing two black products, black paint and the surface, and they're going to have to match perfectly. And then you're going to have to do that demonstration being displayed on a white screen. You can't show white levels on a gray screen because a gray screen can't produce 100% white levels. Virtually impossible. That's why you have to test your white levels on a white screen. And the white screen display must be bigger than the actual screen you're displaying it on. The first time you do it, we do the sample sheet, and then we take the big sheet and put it over top, like we do, like on white screen, black screen, white screen, black screen. You have to display it on that level. It has to be done on a large scale. So these are the things, like I said, that I'm not seeing. And this is what I find disappointing, because before you can give a product a label and say, well, it's done, it needs at least about a week of training. At least you got that confidence level that you can knock every last test out in one day, which we've done before. You have to have that kind of confidence level. I can knock them all out one day, be done, do them all live, here we go, we're finished, then take it outside, boom, I've done it. I've knocked out screens in one day, tests all done in one day. And you see me little video after the video after video. These are not short videos. These are very long videos. You can't do that test in under 30 minutes. It's not going to happen. That test is going to be an hour or so to do those tests. It's a very, very detailed test. So that's another issue. But as I said before, and I want people to take this the wrong way. Don't take it the wrong way, because I know people do. Troll boys always go. Troll boys, or you call yourself, take it the wrong way. The Phantom was developed to be the top superior screen. That's why it has a record that no other black screen can match. You have to knock out those certifieds in order to match that screen's technology capability, and you're still going to have to be able to match. Heck, the freaking Phoenix went through the same certification test also. You have to be able to pass it, but the Phantom was developed to be the best black screen that we can develop. And if I'm going to develop the best and the final, the last one, then you can sure enough believe that I'm going to test that screen against every and any form of black screen I can get my hands on. If you deny me, I'll just look at it as a way where you know deep down in your heart you can't compete it. And I'm not talking about hobbies, I'm talking about big boy companies too. If you deny us, ignore us, change the topics, whatever, automatically know from the door you don't want to go against that screen. That's what it was designed to do, to be the best. So if a person is making a screen paint black product out there, and welcome to the dark side. Finally, you realize that your gray screen paint products aren't worth the time. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but they're not worth the time, and they're not worth the money that you've been selling them for, because it's an old, outdated product. Welcome to the dark side, as in Star Wars, the dark side. But anyway, but to say that you need a lot more testing. From a person who's an expert in the field, you need a lot of testing. And again, when that person tried to come out and try to say, look, I can make black products that fast, that quick. No, you didn't. That's why you deleted the video, because you realized that your product didn't come out the way it was supposed to come out, and you deleted the video, which we have that on recording, that you deleted your test video, your challenge video, because your product did not do exactly what it's supposed to do. You need a lot more testing, man. Mind you, you're in my world now. This is my world of dark technology. This is where I design, create, build all day long. You're in my world. And in my world, will tell you from an expert, professional point of view that your product needs more testing. A lot of testing. Because if it is ready, and as you say it is, then it should be to go side by side to the Phantom, which that's what that screen was designed to. I want that to be the best. When I sit there and I get on camera and I say that is the best black screen on the market, I have to back it up. I can't say it, I gotta back it up. And I gotta show it in live demonstrations, and I have to show it on display that it is the best. So if a person puts it up for order and we go to buy it, I don't want people to say, oh, no, we're not trolling anybody. We're not doing that. No, if I say my product is the best, I'm going after every screen I can get my hands on under that technology's name. I'm not gonna sit there and go, oh, my product's the best, but we're not gonna do them because, no. Gloves are off when it comes to that technology. We will test against that product. If they cancel an order, If they deny it, if they use excuses, then it's just one of those things where we're used to seeing. Because I went through that with two companies, and I'm not going to mention the names, but two companies. One denied us, and the other one basically avoided the question on giving me the ability to be able to answer the question of, can I purchase that sample sheet from you to get it over here, to try it out. And it was avoided over and over again in the conversation, and therefore I already knew from the door, it's like beating the dead horse to death. Why not? I'm not going to get the sample sheet. It's not going to happen. So that was the end of that. So if your product is the best, like I said, it should have no problem going against the Phantom. Ugh. Whew, man. Ugh, man, I got to be out today too. All right, Wednesday, driver's going to be down here because, as I said before, well, I don't know how he's going to go with this one. I really don't, people. At the end of the day, I mean, we talked about that in the room. I was like, how is that even going to work? You can't slander black technology because you're trying to work with black technology. I don't even know how that would even work. That's like a two-faced scenario when you think about it. It's like, two-faced development. Like, that's like really a two-faced scenario. How are you going to ridicule black technology when you're trying to make black technology? Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, this is my theory right here. I think he was trying to show people how easy it was to make our technology, that he could do it himself. Problem we have here, and this time, so I will mention in this video, the problem, not your name, but I will mention, we know who you are. The problem we have here, and to break it down for you to understand this, you failed at that because you deleted the video. You deleted the video because your screen technically at the end of the day wasn't black. It was actually gray, a dark gray. Because I'm hoping it's not that black surface you had laying against that surface, because two ways that's a fail. Number one, if it's a black paint challenge, your product is supposed to match black paint, black, supposed to look exactly the same. It's supposed to show a difference when the projector kicks on. Our screens, Phantoms, show it different because they look exactly like black paint. You can tell one from the next, but when a black Phantom dries, it dries a different color. That's a signature we put into it to be to tell it's our product at the end of the day, because we have the issues in contracts. Number two, it produces a higher white level next to black paint. Not only black paint, black fabric, black vinyl, anything you can throw at that paint, it produces a higher white level. So that demonstration you did not match our demonstration at all in any way whatsoever, which means that's a complete fail on your behalf. The black service I saw in the demonstration was hoping that wasn't it, because what I saw in that demonstration, it had the same ID as a UB. It pulled the same gritty, dirty color and dirty white levels as the UB did. So if it's anywhere in that category, we know what that is. If we ever decide that we want to make that product, we know how to make it, because I know exactly how to make the UV perfectly. So we know it's not that. It's a little too dark. It's weird because the UV mix, when I got the container upstairs and I went to put it against the screen, the video was going. And I'm like, where did the video go? It was just here a few minutes ago. Where's the video? Deleted the video in a live stream. So we knew you got rid of it. It's a live stream right there. You can bring the video back all you want. It doesn't make a difference. We have a document now showing you not only not doing the challenge correctly, but deleting the video off your account. So that's there. That you can never, ever be able to get around that one. But the UV mix doesn't match it. My black mouse doesn't even match it. I put things up against the screen that has even nothing was matching it. So something doesn't add up with your product. And on top of that, you don't have enough test demonstrations. So I don't know how this works for you now, because you criticize black technology to the point where you were telling people it's a scam, don't buy it, it's too dark, light gray screens are better, they produce this, they produce that. And I'm curious now to know that now that you're trying to make a black screen paint, it's no threat to us, because like I said, I can see automatically from the door, you're not doing the test you're supposed to do. If I put a challenge in today for you to do every test demonstration under Phantom, you wouldn't be to match it, because you failed the first one and you deleted the video, which basically shows me at the end of the day, you can't compete with that screen because you have to cut corners to do it. The display you did outside, another fail, because I said before, the star field came up gray. Should have been black. Even if it was poorly done, it should have been black either way. When you drive a black car, and if you go out into the light, it doesn't turn gray, it remains black regardless. When you wear a black t-shirt and you go out and outside, it remains black regardless. Whether you're in the shade, whether you're in the light, it always remains black. So that's the first sign that popped up that wasn't right. And I said, oh, that screen is freaking dark gray. And sure enough, I was right, because when I should do the match with the black paint, we had 3 displays up there. One was a kind of funny, like a grayish kind of look. One was actually gray, and the other one was black. So the one was black, it's supposed to be black paint. And then the other one matching it wasn't matching the black paint correctly. There were all 3 different colors up there. Something was wrong. So that right there, we can clearly see was automatically fell from the door. So from the door from there, I'm not seeing somebody come up and display an image and say, look, this is it, we developed it. No, you didn't even come close to it at all. But if you want to declare yourself making black technology equal to me, I will put a Phantom up today. And we will do the first demonstration we display on the Phantom, and we will ask you to match the demonstration correctly and exactly as the black Phantom is displaying it, and match it. Every last one. And keep in mind, those demonstrations are done live. So if you make a mistake, it will be seen. I'm not talking about just a margin, perfect match. Or we can buy the product, bring it down here and put it against the Phantom and see if it will match the Phantom's demonstration test. So that way we can make sure there's no cutting corners. But it's not going to happen, as I said before. We couldn't get a Cinemax down here, people. And the reason why we couldn't get a Cinemax down here, because he couldn't support the claim that a Cinemax could pull a contrast level equal to a black screen. We all know, come on. Doesn't take anybody to figure out that's not true. So that's the reason why that happened. But there's no way in the world possible. When I'm looking at the black screen product, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. There's some problems there. The fact that you're trying to test white levels on a gray screen, I don't even know how that even works. I don't know where that even works at. White levels are tested on white screens. That's how it's done. So, no, he's got years and years and years. Maybe he's got years of testing to do. I was back since 2015 working on digital 4K crystal onyx. Even had beta testers displaying my products way back then, showing up. You have to have a lot of testing done. At the end of the day, it's a great screen, and I'll tell you why. Because I guarantee you, what I saw in the demonstration, there's white paint in that product. There is white paint in it. Definitely white paint in it. I can see it. I can tell there's white paint in it. It's kind of a signature. Usually people have a particular signature. That's pretty much what they follow. If they have a signature in all their products, and not, like I said, not to beat a dead horse to death, if I can make all your products, majority of 3 of them, with a gallon of white paint into black paint, that tells me at the end of the day what your signature is. That tells me that your product somewhere along the line has white paint. And the reason why they drop white paint in there, because in the back of their mind, they really think the white paint is going to improve the white levels. It doesn't. It really doesn't at all, period. It pretty much gets overshadowed whatever you throw in there, which is the black, and that cancels it out. That's why. Yep. I know all that stuff. That sounds weird, but yep, I know that stuff. But like I said, at the end of the day, but again, you'll know, because if you take that product and you stick it against a white screen, you'll see your white levels come out horrible. Any black screen can produce a black surface. The problem you're going to have with that black screen is it has to be able to produce a proper white level, and it's a balance that has to go off at the same time. So your contrast can't be, well, we kind of figure we have a heightener technology, so we can't. We're different. But to everybody else, not the act big, bold, and boasty, but we do have a heightener technology that does it. Without the heightener technology, this is what you run into. You make the screen too dark, your white levels suffer. You make it you add too much white into it, then it becomes gray, because then you change the outcome of the color of the product. That's why we ask to see a black paint versus on your product side by side, because if there's any white paint in there, we'll see it when it's side by side, because it won't match the other black paint correctly. The other problem you're going to have, like I said, and if the white levels aren't high enough, that means contrast is going to be too dark. Colors are going to suffer. White levels are going to suffer. Skin tones are going to suffer. You put too much white paint in there, and then you're going to basically drop the levels of your black levels, which means your contrast is going to suffer, and that means the screen's going to come off gray. That's how I know it's white paint in there, because if you're displaying a black screen outside and that screen comes up gray, which you want to do a dark gray screen outside to show you what happens when you take a dark gray screen and try to do the same demonstration, it is going to display a gray level at the bottom. That's what's going to pop up. So, this is stuff you should be, some people don't see it. They don't see it. Some people do see it, some people don't see it. His naysayers, his followers, which will support pretty much anything, embarrass themselves every time, and it does. It's such a shame because I see them going and go, "Oh yeah, you did it so and so and so," and then I'll come in and I'll break down your video. Bop 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 bop. This was missing. Bop bop bop. You didn't compare this to that. Bop bop bop. Because I'm an expert in that field in black technology, so I know what to look for. That's like if you got a person who works on Corvettes, who says he works on Corvettes, and a person who has 10 and 12 years working on Corvettes. It's a different story. They could turn that engine on and that guy could listen and say, okay, this and that is wrong. We need to fix that. Or the other one basically is going Google or Facebook trying to figure out and get expert advice from somebody else how to get it done. It's the difference between the two. So, let me show you. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the afternoon trees and the sun. Now, the reason why, again, sometimes my shipping dates turn out to educational videos, but the reason why I talk about this stuff is because at the end of the day, I tell you people, this is your money. It's not my money, it's your money at the end of the day. You need to know this stuff. And not only do you need to know this stuff against the hobbyists, you need to know this stuff against the high-end performance companies out there, the big boys, on how they make their screens look so amazing. Because, Taco's room. Because in one of the demonstrations I saw with one of the demonstrations I saw with Elite Screens, is the fact that when he took the white piece of paper, put it from the Dark Star 9, what he should have did was he should have put it against the darker levels. That would have made the screen look much better. This is a darker screen. But he put it on the skin tones. And that screen nearly almost matched the screen. And I see when he pulled the screen down right away, sort of talking about something else, sort of changing the conversation. So yeah, see all that. So, people looking at this think, that's a black screen. That's not black. That's actually gray. I've done this demonstration many times before. This is the darkest gunmetal we make. This is black. That's Phantom. That's the color of a Phantom right there. Now you see the difference? There you go. That's the difference. Now, this right here is black paint. Now you see the difference. It's gray. I've gotten it so many times from people like, that's a black screen. No, that is an actual gray screen. That's how dark they are. The only thing is the fact that if this screen displayed a Starfield demonstration, this would come up gray. It will come up black. It'll have a black level to it because it has that shifting technology. But like I said, it's never going to match a surface that's 100% black. Virtually impossible. So this would have a darker color to it when it produces a Starfield demonstration. This will come up a little bit grayish. That's another reason why I would know if the screen wasn't 100% black. Now, this right here being black paint, this right here being a Phantom. See the difference in the two? Phantoms are actually black, but when you put them side by side next to black paint, they match black paint identically with no problem whatsoever. The difference is the Phantom dries a different shade than the black paint. That's why if we ever get a contract with a company, they go, oh, Mr. Bird, your product right here, it's not working right, it's coming up too dark and this and the other. We want our money back. It's like $3,000, $4,000 order. And I'm like, that's not our product, that's black paint. They're like, oh, no, it's yours. They both look the same in the container. They both look the same. They look the same. Look, see, these are yours right here. These are, no, they're not mine. They're not mine. Sorry about the accent. They're not mine. He says, yeah, see, look, here's your product here that we bought, and this is the black paint. The black, he's going to say black paint. This is your product too. No, even though they look the same, one dries different than the other. There you go. This is a Phantom. Sorry about my socks. And this right here's your product. Even though if they try to look at the container, they don't realize that they dry differently. Yeah, you have to have that on there. You'd be surprised from the line business. I've been in business for a long time. You'd be surprised some of the tricks people use to try to do dumb stuff in contracts. And at the end of the day, Mr. Bird's a lawyer. We'll be calling you because that's the end of the conversation. I don't bother after that. Walk out of the room. That's the end of it. It's nothing to talk about. Go home, make a phone call to my attorney. Say, look, we got to take him to court. Give him an option. You pay the fines and penalties behind basically what you did, and you accept termination of contract, or we take it to court because you signed your name to it and you agreed to the terms and policies under the contract, and we clean your clock. Because that product's not mine. All right, well, we've talked so much, but Mr. Sun's up already. Time for me to start my day. It's Monday morning. I have to be upstairs on my computer, and I have to start giving out tracking numbers so we can get our customers taken care of. Let's see. And the day since it's, I hope Wednesday is a good day because we've had rain, good weather. Rain, good weather. And this is perfect weather for me because I breathe better in the autumn or in between these areas are good areas for me to be outside. I'm going to be outside a lot more today. Let's see, what should we be outside today on? We're at 135. Oh, the weather is wrong for a minute, people. Stop for a minute. Ooh, this is nice. Yeah, man, all right. All right, let me see. Okay. We hadn't done the 135-inch Phoenix outside in a while. Oh, no. I'm firing up the big boy downstairs. That's what I want. We're going to play on that one today. I don't have to wait right now. I'm waiting for the wooden frame because it's not done yet. That's the screen actually screwed to the deck right now. So right now I have to put a wooden frame around that and LED lights. I don't get the chance to, I already ordered the LED lights. They'll be here probably like at the end of the week. But the wood I'm going to pick up on Wednesday when the driver comes down, because she'll take me out to get that done as I'm getting, what the heck is my cat doing? As I'm getting these packages out the door for customers. So what we're going to do is, we're going to see how far we got to go back to expand for the 235.1 setup. So we're going to have two projectors out there. We're going to do 150 inch on one screen. No. What am I doing? I should bring both projectors out. I mean, if I'm going to be out there, I might have some fun with this. All right, we're going to bring two projectors out for side-by-side 150 inch. And we're going to do a 235.1. So we're going to do two videos. Sorry, it's going to have to be pre-recorded due to the fact that I saw the Wi-Fi test. It was bad. So I'm going to have to get boosters put in here, and I'm going to have to get a second booster put outside. I'm going to have to get a extension cord connected from here. I'll let someone back. Mr. Hollywood. Hey, Mr. Hollywood. It's breakfast. Time to eat. You just had food. This fed you a few minutes ago. Mr. Hollywood, what's up? Mr. Hollywood. But anyway, cat's name is Taco, but we call him Hollywood. Let's be on from the camera time. So anyway, yeah, we're going to do both of them, because I'm not going to miss an opportunity. And those pictures will look sick. Oh, definitely. A massive size of 235.1, yes. Now, mind you, this is going to be crazy, and I'll tell you why. One of the projectors I will be using in the demonstration won't be 1080p, won't be actually 720p. We're going to do side-by-sides with those. And the projector we're going to be using outside is going to be a 600 by 800 res 720p projector. You talk about stretching the pixel count on a projector. Yeah, I just told you about the whole distance throw. We're going to be probably about 21 feet from the screen because I have to get the log pile removed to get the full 30. So we're going at 21 feet back, 3800 lumens, 600 by 800 res, 720p at a 235.1 setting. That's going to be sick to watch. All right, with that being said, well, let me get back to work. Hey, Taco. Hey, buddy. What you doing today? Figuring out 26 ways to bug dad today, huh? Come here, little monster. Sorry to see this on camera. I love this guy so much. Ow. Gotta get some mittens. Anyway, gotta go. And God bless. Taco is the man. Taco, you